All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller, and I'll be your yoga instructor today. So, welcome to week 21 of our Yoga for Pregnancy series here on Wild Blue Yonder Media. If you've been along for the ride the whole time, welcome back. And if you're just popping in for the first time, it's nice to have you. So this series is designed to help you feel a little bit more at ease as well as strong and just open in your body as you go through the pregnancy process. So whether you are following this along sequentially, you're kind of mixing and matching classes, just keep in mind that it's okay. Just really follow the cues of your body and the guidance of your doctor. You're welcome to take things a bit further if your body is willing and able, or you can always modify if maybe you're a bit further along in your pregnancy journey or there's other factors to keep in mind. So just make sure you keep all of that in the back of your mind as we go through the practice and I cue you in different postures. A couple other things to note: notice your boundaries. Can you extend? Where do you need to modify? Stay in that center posture, really keeping in mind your body's changing a lot. So we want to find the edge and then pull back slightly here so we're not overstraining or overworking our muscles or our ligaments or tendons in any way. Also, keep in mind I don't often cue water. So, if and when you feel thirsty, feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and then join us whenever you feel ready. Finally, if there's any partners or spouses, family or friends, or little family members who are joining the pregnant mother in this, welcome. It's really nice to have you. Being supported like this, doing yoga in community is a really great way just to make it you feel a little less alone in the pregnancy journey. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable position. Your legs can be crossed, they can be straight out in front of you. Um, I'm sitting up on a prop. I'm on the low side of a block, but you can also simply be down on the mat if that's more comfortable for you. We're going to wiggle back and forth, rooting into the sits bones. Then we'll sit up nice and tall. We'll inhale as we draw the shoulders forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. Inhale, the shoulders come forward and up. Exhale, they drop back and down. Finding a comfortable spot for your hands, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. You're welcome to close the eyes if you'd like, or simply find an unmoving point and soften your gaze here. And in this series, we've started all of our practices with a breathing practice to help you connect with your baby. So if you'd like, you're welcome to bring a hand onto your belly, a hand onto your chest here. And take a moment to simply notice the movements of your breath without changing them in any way. At the bottom of the next exhale, begin to take a slow inhale through the nose, filling the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale, fill the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And slowly exhale that breath back out. Now, on the next inhale, imagine you are drawing in and inhaling all of the love that you could possibly feel for your baby. And then on the next exhale, imagine releasing all of that air and that all of that love from your baby as it comes from the baby to you. Inhaling patience for baby. Exhaling baby's patience for you. Inhale generosity for baby. Exhale baby's generosity for you. Inhale kindness for baby. Exhale, baby's kindness for you. Inhale, faithfulness for baby. Exhale, baby's faithfulness for you. Inhale, fortitude for baby. Exhale, baby's fortitude for you. Inhale, love for baby. Exhale, baby's love for you. Taking a couple more breaths right here, just like this. Inhaling whatever it is you would like to welcome in for your baby. And then on the exhale, imagine that baby is welcoming out all of that for you in return. When you've reached the bottom of that next exhale here, releasing the hands down onto the legs and simply notice the breath for a moment. You're no longer controlling it. Just allow it to settle into its own rhythm and cadence. And take a moment here to set an intention or a purpose for your practice, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a nice deep inhale as you feel that intention with your heart and mind. Exhale the breath out as you set that intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Gently opening the eyes here. Nice work. If you're sitting on a prop, let's go ahead and move that out to the side and out of the way here. And we're actually going to come into a wide-legged stance to get started. So legs out about a 45-degree angle, nothing too wide, nothing too short, just so we're kind of starting to already target the inside of the legs here. We're going to inhale, sweep our arms wide, bring them up overhead, cast the gaze skyward. Exhale, twist over to the left, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the body as you curve your head around into a seated twist. Inhale brings you back into neutral. Exhale, left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind the body on the mat. Curve your head around into a seated twist. Inhale draws you back into center as you reach tall. Exhale twists you back over to the left here, curving that nose around, drawing that twist into the neck. Good. Inhale brings you back into center. Exhale twists you over to the right, again, curving that nose around. Good. Inhale, we come up into center. Exhale, drop your left hand down to your left leg here and allow that left hand to slide down toward the ankle. Open up the torso to the right here. So now it's kind of on an angle. Extend your right arm so the bicep is next to the ear. And then exhale, lean over to the left, curving your head and your fingers down toward your left toes, coming into this nice wide-legged side bend here. So my forearm is resting on my shin. It can also be to the inside. That's going to immediately deepen the stretch. So being mindful of what your body is capable of right now. Feet are flexed, toes are pointing to the sky. And again, shoulder is stacked so that bicep is over the ear here, not in front of the face. Feeling that nice pull through that right hip up into the ribs. Good. And then we inhale, come up into center, switching sides. So this right hand comes down onto the leg, slide it along the leg here toward the ankle, and then open up the torso to the left, stacking the shoulders, and then exhale, head and fingers dip toward the right toes, coming into this nice side body stretch on the opposite side here. Good. So we're feeling that pull through the side body. It feels so good. You've practiced with me, you've heard how much I love side body stretches. It's probably one of my favorites. Again, that shoulder is stacked, bicep is not in front of the face, but over the ear, reaching through those fingers, breathing. Whew. Nice big yawn there. And then inhale, we come back up into center. Nice work. Hands on the knees or gently on the thighs. We'll inhale as we press the chest forward, lift the gaze, squeeze the shoulder blades together, seated cow. Exhale, hollow out the back and the belly, coming into your seated cat. Inhale into a seated cow, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift through the torso. Exhale, hollowing out, looking down toward the mat for your seated cat. Good. And then inhale, coming into neutral. Ooh, excuse me. Nice job. Let's go ahead and take this left leg and tuck it, the foot, so it's to the inside of the right leg here. Good. And then we're going to rotate toward this right leg. We'll inhale as we lengthen through the spine, exhale as we hinge at the hips and start to fold forward here, coming into this shoestring pose or one-legged extended forward fold here. So we're folding forward over the leg, pressing forward at the heart center. Hands are in a comfortable position. You can grab onto the foot if that's accessible, but we're not pulling ourselves down. Instead, we're allowing gravity to do the work here. And we're simply coming into the stretch in that way, really noticing the sensation through the back of the leg, keeping those right toes pointing up toward the sky here. A couple nice deep breaths. Good. Inhale presses you on up into center. And we're going to switch coming onto the opposite side. So that left leg extends, right leg zips in or bends, and that right foot zips into the inside of that left leg. So again, we'll turn ourselves toward our left leg. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinge at the hips, lean forward with the heart center, coming into this nice forward fold over this single leg on the opposite side here. So breathing here, again, finding a comfortable spot for your hands. Maybe you're more lifted, maybe their forearms are on the mat, noticing what's accessible, focusing on pressing forward the heart center instead of the nose. So we're getting that deepest stretch possible through the back of the leg. You also may notice pulling through the low back, kind of in that kidney space a little bit. Normal, totally fine. And again, finding our edge and then coming back slightly here so we're not overdoing it, right? Even if you've been practicing with me, we still want to be mindful and kind to our bodies as they're going through this massive adjustment. So taking a couple deep breaths here. Good. And then an inhale walks us back up into center here. Bring those legs wide once again into that about 45-degree angle, rooting through the sits bones. Inhale, we lengthen through the spine. Exhale, we hinge at the hips, and then we fold forward here, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. You may want to grab props to put under your hands. You can also just use your hands or come down onto your forearms. Keep the chin tucked so you're looking down directly in front of you, like not craning the neck and looking up like what I'm doing right now. We want a nice long spine, and that comes all the way into the neck. Those toes are pointing up toward the ceiling or shrugging our shoulders down. And we're feeling a nice pull now simultaneously through the inside of the legs instead of targeting the out or the back side of the legs, which is what we were doing with those single leg forward folds here. Regardless, we're breathing nice and deep. Then the next inhale, go ahead, press yourself on up into center. We're going to come into a seated position and I'm going to grab my block and turn to the side so you can see me a little bit easier here. Sitting on a block lifts the hips and it makes it easier to keep yourself nice and tall. So if you have one, I urge you to start practicing with it. It really makes a big difference in these seated postures here, but you certainly don't have to if it's not available. You can always sit on the edge of a chair as well, like a folding chair or something to that effect. And that also makes it easier to sit up nice and tall with an engaged core. So root through the sits bones, lengthen through the spine. Again, core is gently engaged. Pelvis is slightly tucked here. So we're keeping just a very slight curve in our back. Good. Now we're going to do prayer hands behind the back here. So we'll first start by interlacing the fingers, then inhale, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting those arms up off the back for a nice opening through the shoulders here. Couple deep breaths. Good. Release those hands, sweep the arms in front, maybe wiggle them back and forth here for a little release. And now getting ready for prayer hands behind the back. So the goal is to bring the hands together, palms to touch behind your back here. Now, that can be pretty tricky. So you can start by simply bringing your palms to touch, thumb and fingertips pointing down. Shoulders are shrugged down and those elbows are kind of squeezing toward the midline of your back here. Now, you may be feeling a stretch and that's great. An option here is to start to turn your fingertips so they're pointing to the spine and then pressing your fingertips together and your inside of your fingers together. Now, the final option then is to actually turn your hand so the outside of each palm, it's not good with a ponytail, come to touch your low back, and then slowly sliding those arms along your spine until they're high enough where your fingers can come to touch. And then spreading those elbows out wide here, like you're opening up your chest. Woo! This is a very deep opening. So taking a couple deep breaths here. I'll rotate so you can see what this looks like from the back. Notice how my hands are not perfectly sliding together. I don't have that flexibility. I definitely don't practice this enough. So being kind to your body wherever you are, staying rooted through your sits bones. Take a nice deep inhale, a nice deep exhale. Inhale. Exhale, we release, gently bringing those hands down. Nice work. Shake out those hands here as feels good for you. I'm going to rotate to face you. So we're practicing together once again. Nice work. And we'll do just a couple little neck stretches here. So we're sitting up nice and tall. Once again, rerouting into the sits bones. And we'll start by just dropping that left ear over to the left shoulder. Oh, that feels heavenly. So notice the stretch through the left side of the neck. You really don't have to do anything more than this, especially if it feels good. You're welcome to stay here. Option, left hand can come to rest on the right side of the head. We're not pulling, but the weight of the hand and the arm are deepening that stretch. Option. You can also extend your right fingers down toward the floor. They may or may not touch, but that's going to deepen that stretch here. Tailbone is slightly tucked, core is engaged, really sitting up nice and tall. So the neck is really what is getting the stretch here, and it's not being absorbed by any other bad postures in the body here. Good. We take a nice full breath. And then we release. Great work. All right. On the next exhale, go ahead and drop that right ear over to the right shoulder. Ooh, feels lovely. So you're welcome to stay here. If you're noticing sensation through the neck and that feels good for you, you're welcome just to hang out with that sensation right here and explore it. Another option is to bring that right hand to the left side of the head and gently rest it down. Again, we're not pulling. The weight is simply allowing the head to go deeper into a posture here. So notice what feels right for you. Final option, take your fingers on the left hand and extend them out to the side down toward the mat. This is going to deepen that stretch. For me, it brings it all the way into my fingertips. Stay rooted through the sits bones, long through the spine, core is gently engaged, breathing. Good. And then inhale brings you on back into center. Nice work here. We're going to make our way down onto your back. So if you need a towel off, grab a drink of water, put on socks or jacket for final relaxation. Now is your moment to do so, as we will not set up for the rest of our practice. And since we're running into over halfway through the pregnancy, I'll no longer be demonstrating traditional final relaxation on your back, but keeping in mind that if you're not as far along or that's still comfortable for you, you can always take that position if that feels right. So, coming down onto one side or the other doesn't really matter here. And then slowly lowering yourself down using your arms to support here, tucking those knees in slightly and then resting either an arm, a hand, or perhaps a block beneath your head here for your final relaxation, finding a comfortable spot for the arms. Now, depending on how big your belly is, you can always use a block here and slide it underneath your belly for a little bit of an extra lift. This can be really, really nourishing and feel super nice, especially as your belly starts to get bigger and you feel more of that weight and strain across the low back. So just keeping in mind that that is there for you if you'd like. Again, you can also be on your back, or, as always, you can come into a seated position if that's where you're at and just treat this final part of our practice like a seated meditation. So, whatever you choose to do, taking just a few moments here to settle in and begin to notice your breath. Notice how fast or slow it is, how deep or shallow. Notice the quality of each breath on your inhales, and the quality of each breath on your exhales. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of your belly, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Just really noticing air as it moves in and out of your body, up and down your throat. Allowing your attention to gently rest on your breath. And if and when you wander off on a thinking adventure, it's okay. It happens to the best of us. So celebrate the fact that you noticed you wandered away and then just gently return to the breath, focusing on the inhales and exhales. Now, if it's right for you, perhaps incorporating a mantra to help you stay grounded and focus on the breath here. Inhale, I am. Exhale, resilient. Inhale, I am. Exhale, resilient. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments here today. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know that I am watching the time and I certainly respect yours, so I will let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So lean back, let go, just rest right here with your breath. The greatest gift we can give to others is our true presence. This establishes real connection. Bringing your awareness back into the space, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, lungs, and chest with air before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Taking another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle the fingers and toes, finding some gentle movements here. And pausing for a moment to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale as you make your way on up into a seated position and we close out our practice together today. So finding your comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. We inhale, draw the shoulders forward and up. Exhale them back and down. Finding a comfortable spot for your hands, whether on your knees, palms up or down, in your lap or at heart center. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for week 21 of our Yoga for Pregnancy series here on Wild Blue Yonder Media. It was a joy to be here with you. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and share it with other folks, whether they're pregnant or not. I've got this series, but tons of other practices as well for whatever phase of life you may be in. So if you enjoyed this class, send it to another pregnant gal. Or if you just like my teaching style, send my channel to someone who you know is looking to bring some yoga into their life. Also, keep in mind, I also have a podcast, Wild Blue Yonder Meditations, and there's tons of breathing, mindfulness, and meditation practices on there that can really support you during this time of your life and really any time of life. So make sure to check that out as well. Give a like and a follow there if you can. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your week. I look forward to seeing you for week 22, and I will see you next time. Bye.